Good day, folks. This is your hillbilly historian coming to you from the hills of East Tennessee in the Appalachian area. Uh, Today, I want to talk about a historical event that I think was one of the dumbest, stupidest military moves ever made in the history of mankind. And the idiocy is of this one military move is so unbelievable. It still just brings this historian to tears thinking about it. But thanks for me, my uncles, my father, who fought in World War II, thank God they made this error. And I'm talking about December the 7th, 1941, the Pearl Harbor attack. You know, it's like all they wanted to do was piss us off, because that's all they did. If they had a purpose, that attack, they sure failed in the goals of that attack. It was absolutely moronic, the attack on Pearl Harbor, because all they did was make the United States really angry and dedicated to wipe their butts out. And they made it easy for us, because after the attack on Pearl Harbor, we had the Doolittle raid, which was a success. Really didn't do anything except just give Japan a black eye, bloody nose, not that much damage, and ticked them off. We were able to win or at least come out with a tie in the Battle of the Coral Sea. And then we had that marvelous victory at Midway. It's Japan really shot themselves in their own feet, both feet, not one foot, both feet. Because we ended up taking Guadalcanal and defeating the Japanese there eventually, keeping line of communications open between the United States and Australia. And it was just absolutely amazing. Now, if I had been in charge of the Japanese military at that time, I would not only have attacked Pearl Harbor, I would have invaded with 50,000 troops. I would have taken that island, taken full control of it, because that air attack, they just hit Pearl Harbor twice. They didn't wipe out the oil tanks, so we had plenty of fuel for future ships to run around the Pacific Ocean. We had excess fuel there, plenty, and they didn't bomb the dry docks. So ships that were only damaged could be easily repaired right there. Amazing. All they did was piss us off for a dedicated war against Japan, to where we eventually really destroyed that country and tried to teach them a lesson. But if Japan had been smart, they would have invaded. They invaded Hong Kong with troops, took it. They invaded Malaysia with troops, took it. They invaded the Philippines with troops. They kicked MacArthur's butt, took the Philippines. They were taking most of Indonesia with invasion. They had attacked Australia, could probably have taken Australia, but they had to conquer, not attack, but conquer the Hawaiian Islands. And they could have done that. 50,000 troops, they could have marched right in there, took control. They would have had control of the entire U.S. Navy unless they escaped to San Diego. And it would have been very, very difficult for the Americans to come back on Hawaii and take it back from them. Because if they had set up defenses on Hawaii the way they had defenses on Tarawa and Iwo Jima and Okinawa and these places, it would have been doubtful if we could have taken it back without huge loss. But if they had conquered Hawaii instead of just attacked it, if they had conquered it, we wouldn't have had the Battle of Coral Sea. We wouldn't have had Guadalcanal. We wouldn't have had the Battle of Midway. You know, Japanese invaded Wake Island at the same time they attacked Pearl Harbor. They invaded Wake Island and took it. Now, why didn't they do that with Midway Island and Hawaii Island all on December the 7th? Stupidest, dumbest move in the history of military. All they did was basically give FDR the excuse to go to war against Japan. And a few days after that, Germany, Hitler, stupidly declared war against the United States and gave FDR every opportunity to declare war back against Germany and to help Churchill in his war against Germany and to help Russia in their war against Germany. It's just absolutely amazing that Japan did not invade Midway and Hawaii on December 7th, conquer both places. They would have had total control of the Pacific. It would have taken us forever to get them out of the Hawaiian Islands. And it was just amazing, the stupidity of their inability to see. They just thought they could wipe out our battleships and they'd be, they didn't even put a dent in one of our carriers. And on December the 7th, 1941, our carriers were not present at the attack, so they weren't even damaged. So we were able to basically win a strategic victory in the Coral Sea, and then a major victory, the Battle of Midway in June the 4th, 1942. But anyway, that's just my opinion on the historical events. If you're going to piss somebody off, at least make it hard for them to kick you back. And the Japanese did not do that. They kicked our butt in the Philippines, but if they'd have invaded and taken Hawaii at the same time, they would have had a leg up on the United States. It would have been real hard for us to come back. But that's your hillbilly historian giving you his definite opinionated opinion, one-sided opinion of course, I wasn't back there to give the Japanese any advice in 1941. I hadn't even been born yet. But it just appears to me that historically that was one of the dumbest military moves in the history of mankind. And hopefully we don't make that mistake in the future. But we have been angering an awful lot of Arabs and Persians lately and turning what should have been a friendly foreign policy into pure hatred against the United States. But anyway, that's your hillbilly historian here on a beautiful spring day, giving you his opinionated opinion. You have a good day.